Hi everyone, welcome to Curiosity, the science show presented by Young Academy of India. I'm Professor Felix Bast. This is for the month of August 2025, episode number 70. 70, unbelievable, isn't it? Let me show you the very first episode of the Curiosity that I recorded with quite similar background. You can relate to it, the same logo you can see, and this was released 5 years ago. I was then associate professor and look quite different, isn't it? Now that I have this buzz cut, uniform buzz cut, I just love this hairstyle. So I'm gonna stick with this hairstyle rest of my Curiosity episodes to many episodes yet to come. So without further ado, let's go to the August episode. So August is a very interesting month, a special month with several things happening. So let's see what is going to happen in this month. So this month, as usual, we start every episode of Curiosity with etymology. August is coming from Augustus, Caesar Augustus. Remember, in July is also named after a person, Julius Caesar, and Caesar Augustus is his heir. It's basically the adopted child, the great grandson, and it is adopted. He was adopted son. Julius Caesar didn't have any son, and of course he had one, but then Cleopatra's son, but he never publicly acknowledged that he is his own biological son. The Caesar Augustus became his heir, and as you know, in the last episode we saw about the Brutus and why he was ousted. The ancient Roman never liked this dictatorship, so they ousted him, but then his successor also became a dictator, isn't it? So that Caesar Augustus, he was the founder of the Roman Empire at the turn of BC to AD, that is 0 AD. He was reigning dictator of Rome, And August is also month of gladiolus, the beautiful flower, very variegated flower, different colors, right? And also poppy, And August is very special for me and all of my compatriots here in India. It is Independence Day is coming in this month, 15th of August. I'm looking forward to it. And we just completed Human Genome Project, 25th anniversary of the Genome Project, and they're very interesting. The interviews ran by The Naked Scientist, one of my very favorite podcasts. Please check out. I linked up, the Chris, the nice guy behind this, the human, the Naked Scientist. He got this layoff notice from the University of Cambridge. I'm pretty surprised why the Cambridge want to kick him out. It's the firing notice, despite his all effort to popularize the sciences, and also to improve the reputation ranking of the Cambridge University where he's working as the doctor. Anyway, I support the Chris. I already sent an email to the Vice Chancellor to reconsider his decision. So I hope to get a favorable response soon. All right. So now coming to this background image that you can relate with the first ever, right, 70 episode earlier, 5 years ago. This one is a stellar cluster NGC 602. So 602 NGC is the nearest galaxy to our own galaxy of Milky Way. It's about approximately 2 lakh light years away from the Earth. Now you can see that this background here, this is the nebula, the gaseous nebula, and right inside the, as you can see, this red beams are nothing but the stars are being formed. So this red one is actually coming from Chandra Observatory, X-ray Observatory, right? Harish Chandra, NASA's observatory. And the other one is coming from James Webb. So this is one of the latest picture of the James Webb Space Telescope. And of course you can you can see this one. You can download it from their own Flickr. All different kind of sizes, and they have fantastic Flickr stream. Various various, the James Webb and related NASA. This is the official Flickr stream of NASA. Please check out this Flickr stream for further, for further images. It's pretty amazing site indeed. Okay. All right. Now let's see the science updates coming from the last month. The first one is that a large longitudinal Danish study that involved 1.2 million children from Denmark over 24 years. So it's a longitudinal study, 24 years. 1.2 million children. Can you believe how much money they would have spent? Not just money, but the effort too. And what they found is that there is no link between vaccines or aluminum in vaccines. They were looking either with asthma or autism or with any other medical condition. So, well, it's, the vaccine causes autism and vaccine causes heart attack. All lots of fake news is being spread by social media. This is like a final nail on its coffin. The paper got published in Annals of Internal Medicine, a very prestigious journal. Let me show you that paper. I really like this. This figure. So this is basically, that you can see hazard ratios. The dashed line is the background hazard ratio 1. So whenever this dot is less than that or greater than that, that is what the hazard ratio. So as you can see, most of these diseases here, like rheumatoid arthritis or Hashimoto thyroiditis, are little bit less than the background. So that means that vaccine reduces the risk of all these things. And some of these are a little bit increased, like insect sting allergy is a bit increased, but none of these are statistically significant. That is a point of interest in this study. So it's really interesting study. I really like it. Next one is a very famous retraction by NASA. So yeah, retractions are part of science, but this one is pretty interesting and pretty serious. And this, this publication came out 15 years back. And right at the time of publication, many reputed scientists questioned it. So the publication is about the discovery of a new bacterium, like how I discovered 7 new species of algae, right? So yeah, the NASA scientists discovered a new bacterial species which can use arsenic in place of phosphorus. Phosphorus is really important building blocks. For example, the DNA, the double helix, the backbone of the DNA is all made up of phosphorus, and also proteins, right? Phosphorus is really important. Now this bacterium has ability to use arsenic in place of phosphorus. How is it possible, isn't it? No, that they were lying in it. So the paper got retracted by the famous journal Science by AAAS. Well, that retraction is needy, a need of the hour, right? Though it took really long time for the editors to decide that this needs to be retracted. Next, next paper is that any kind of processed meat can cause health issues, even in really tiny amounts. That's pretty interesting. Like hot dog comes with sausages. I was in Germany for a long time. So in Germany, of course, the German food habits are full of sausage and bacon, lots of this kind of processed meat, right? So now this processed meat, the European style of eating has a lot of implications to it, and American, of course, American too, So eating just one hot dog a day increased the type 2 diabetes risk by 11%. Can you believe? It also raised the risk of colorectal cancer by 7%, according to the researcher. There may be no such thing as safe amount of this processed meat, so we just need to remove completely. The paper got published in Nature. By the way, please check the show notes for accessing all these papers. One click, you can directly take you to the articles. Okay. Next is about friendship between the people from different political and religious background. You see, so different political views, the friendship is now getting very low. It's diminishing, and the article examined why. The reason is because of the extreme polarization. The affective polarization is the psychological term for it. Affective means extreme polarization, and that is accentuated by the social media posts. So that is the reason. Well, this paper got published in Social, Psychological and Personality Science, a highly reputed journal. Check out the link for this article. Next is about health insurance. denial of the health insurance. It has something to do with your income bracket. Very interesting, isn't it? So the low income people are less likely to challenge denials of their health insurance. If you earn high chances that you will file petitions against the denial, where in case that your health insurance provider deny your premium, not premium but the claim, right? Claims, instead of settling the claim, they deny the claim. So yeah, it has something to do with your income bracket. That's very interesting. And of course the study was done in the US. $50,000 was the limit. So if your income is less than 50,000, then chances are high that you will not even initiate arbitration. That's very interesting, right? So low income patients fight in case they do fight the denials, then the company will not sanction it. But if you earn higher than 50,000 and then if you appeal against this denial, then there is a very high chance that the company will approve your claim. That's very interesting, right? That is actually, yeah, it's a bias, systemic bias happening in health insurance sector. Very interesting paper, alarming indeed. Next story is that a new study provides evidence that the human brain emits light. Can you believe it? And you can actually see the kind of light that the brain is emitted based on our mood. Like when you're happy, the kind of color is different. When you're sad, the kind of color is different. The paper got published in Cell Eye Science, very famous journal. So this kind of emission is something called ultraweak photon emission, UPE. Well, UPE is nothing new. Every cell of human being do emit the UPE, but this is actually, you might wonder, you might be curious why this photon is being emitted by the cell, isn't it? So it's because of the radioactive decay of the excited molecules that reflect the metabolic state of the cells. So that's very interesting, isn't it? So yeah, it can even pass through the skull and it can detect that the extremely sensitive cameras can detect these emissions. So I'm looking forward to hear more about these emissions and how we can make use of it. Right, last episode of Curiosity, we covered something to do with the body fat index, which is much more better than BMI, isn't it? The 20% is the sweet spot. So aim to have your body fat less than 20%. So any kind of smart scale available in the market displays your body fat. Though the precision is really bad, but still at least you have some benchmark, right? So aim to have less than 20%. Now this new story, which got published in the famous journal Personality and Individual Differences, they were looking at the body fat percentage with attractiveness, the perceived attractiveness for men as graded by women. So what kind of men do the women call it as attractive, and does it have something to do with their body fat percentage? That's very interesting. And what they found is that most attractive male bodies have approximately 13 to 14% body fat. Well, that's the same level that corresponds closely with what is considered as metabolically healthy, So that's pretty interesting, isn't it? Well, another story to do with the brains. So brains in adults, old adults, there's the adage, the proverb that say that you cannot teach old dogs new tricks, right? So till now we thought that if you're old guy like 70 plus or 60 plus, there is no brain development. Whatever we learned or you learned it, that's it, static, isn't it? No, not anymore. This is the latest paper that we're looking at something called adult neurogenesis. So are new neurons are being formed in adults or not? Yes, they found it. The paper got published in Science, again one of the most prestigious journals in the world of science, AAA Science. So that debate is now settled. This paper was looking even at 78 years. Adults, 78 years, adult neurogenesis is happening in their brain. Pretty interesting, isn't it? Right. Now we know that around 10,000 steps a day getting moved, right, is very important for extension of the life, isn't it? So longevity, and to reduce all cause mortality, you really need to get your body moving. So 10,000 steps used to be the sweet spot, isn't it? So the at least 10,000 you should you should walk a day. Well, the news stories say the paper, they were looking at different kinds of steps. It's a very massive study, very interesting paper, which got published in Lancet Public Health. Check out the show note for the paper. The paper, they found 7,000 is a sweet spot, so you can achieve as good as 10,000, that kind of reduction in all cause mortality from 7,000 onwards. So 7,000 to 10,000, the difference is not that statistically significant. Very interesting, isn't it? So 47% of reduction in all cause mortality risk. If you can get that number, the magic number 7,000 in your odometer, you don't really need to have any odometer. I use an app called Google Fit. I'm an Android user. So in Android, well, it's a default app by the Google Fit. I really like this two circle. One circle is about the outer circle is about that 7,000 step. I set in 7,000. You can set it. 10,000 or 5,000, 7,000 is really good. Inner circle is for high heart activity like cycling or running, so yeah, that also you need 150 minutes per week, isn't it? So that's very interesting. And if you achieve the 7,000 goal, 25% lower risk of cardiovascular disease, and 37% lower risk of dying from cancer, and 38 lower risk from the dementia. Lots of interesting things, isn't it? Let me show you that paper. That is, I really like this paper. So, I just show you this figure of this paper. So as you can see that this is the figure. Yeah, you can see this figure. This is the all cause mortality. And now you can see that, this is the hazard ratio 1, right? So if this basically your x-axis is the steps, 0, this is like complete sedentary, 2,000 step, 4,000, 6,000. Now you can see that the risk is slowly reducing, so that reduction that around 22,000 steps onwards, it's lesser than those who are not doing any activity at all. Okay, so 2,000 should be your bare minimum, and now you see that it's kind of plateaus at around 7,000. This is all cause mortality. This is for cardiovascular, and this is for cancer, and type 2 diabetes. Every single thing you can see that is around sweet spot is approximately dementia, is depression, all around 7,000. So that's very interesting paper which I read last month. Coming to the next paper is about the cry. The infants do cry, isn't it? When I was in Japan, when I did my PhD 5 years, I always observed the Japanese small babies, they don't cry at all. They're very, very silent. When I was in the Western Europe and US and Canada too, right? Yeah, they don't really. The kids are pretty interesting, and I wondered why. Well, the science now has got an answer as per this paper published in JCPP Advances. It has something to do with DNA. So at the age of 2 months, the children's genetics can explain up to 50% of how much they're gonna cry. And at 5 months of the age, 70% of the explanation comes from this genetic variation. Very interesting, isn't it? Everything is the cry, chance of cry, everything is in your genes. It's already written. Pretty interesting. Next story is that the scientists discover certain species of microbes in the human gut can absorb what? PFAS, forever chemical, perfluoroalkanoic acid, isn't it? So that's forever chemicals can be absorbed by this bacteria living in our gut. So basically what they did is that this gut microbe, they transplanted into the mice to humanize their microbiome, and then seeing that they were fed with this PFAS, not that ethical study, isn't it? Yeah. And then the mice, they were looking at the bacteria, and what they found is that in the feces these bacteria were there, and inside the bacteria all the PFAS molecules are accumulated. So our gut microbiome absorb these forever chemicals, presumably also microplastics. I strongly suspect it. And then it gets excreted in our feces. Very interesting, isn't it? Yeah, now the next story is that many people will continue with longer, less efficient path to the goal rather than backtrack and take the shortcut. So it's all about Bayesian thinking, isn't it? Reconsider your decision. So if you're pursuing a goal, chances are high that in the halfway through or after halfway through, you will not want to rethink your decision of pursuing that goal. You want to complete it. Well, there are a lot of psychological effects on play, especially sunk cost fallacy. You might think about, okay, I studied 5 years in this course, so why should I stop this course and take altogether a new course? You know, so that sunk cost fallacy is really an important fallacy that is coming into this play. And also status quo bias. Many biases are there. This paper we're looking, this paper got published in Psychological Science, you know, and what they found is that this double back aversion is driven by not by mistaken cost estimates, but how the people think about their past and future effort. Very interesting, isn't it? So yeah, I was, you know, when I was reading this paper, I was remembering one of the very interesting book which I read last year. The book is Think Again by Adam Grant. Rethink is his podcast. Always you know, listen to it. Every new episode I do listen to it, and I strongly recommend everyone to subscribe to his Rethink. You know, it's very interesting podcast, science informed management decisions. So Think Again is also a strongly recommended book by Adam Grant. It's all about scientific thinking, reconsidering your decisions. You know, that is exactly how the Bayesian philosophy works, isn't it? Right, next is about surgery. From Duke University in the US, the surgeons could be able to resuscitate, you know, a dead heart on operating table after it stopped beating for more than 5 minutes. It's a record. So 5 minutes, you know, so heart completely stopped beating, and then it could able to revive it. Wow, isn't it? Science is progressing, friends. Amazing. So the organ was later transplanted into the chest of a 3-month-old child, saving their life. Very interesting. The paper got published in New England Journal of Medicine, another prestigious journal. So another paper is about beetroot. Very important, isn't it? Lots of, you know, the phytochemicals in the beetroot juice, isn't it? So beetroot juice lowers the blood pressure in older people, especially by changing the oral gut microbiome. You know, so oral as well as gut microbiome, it changes. And because of this microbiome, the bacteria living in our gut is modulated by this beetroot such a way that they release more nitric oxide into the blood, and that ultimately lowers your blood pressure. Pretty interesting, isn't it? So the new studies show that nitrate-rich foods, especially the plant-based food, not the animal-based, right? Animal nitrate is not good. Plant nitrate is good, right? So alter the oral microbiome in such a way that it results in a less inflammation as well as lowering the blood pressure in older adult. So the paper got published in Free Radical Biology and Medicine. And you know, when I was reading this paper, I was thinking about my mother, and she always makes, you know, yeah, sometimes, they are not always, not every day, but sometimes she makes ABC juice, you know, apple, beetroot and carrot. Very delicious juice. You can try it out. She was following a recipe in YouTube. Yeah. All right. Next is that around 75% of the stomach cancer cases worldwide are attributable to H. pylori infection, Helicobacter pylori infection. So if you can detect this H. pylori infection early on and then take antibiotics to stop it from further damaging your stomach lines, you can prevent this, most of the cancer. You know, 3/4 of the cancer, 75% of the stomach cancer is only because of H. pylori. Amazing, isn't it? So that means that most of the stomach cancer is preventable. Well, how will you know it's H. pylori infection? So one of the hallmark is acid reflux. GERD, gastroesophageal reflux syndrome. The acidity, you might think it's just an acidity, but it could be H. pylori. There are a lot of inexpensive blood tests available now that you can check to detect is it really H. pylori infection or not. And if it's H. pylori, take the antibiotics, and complete the full course, because H. pylori, the antibiotic resistance, is also an emerging problem. Well, next is about cough syrup. We covered this cough syrup in one of the earlier episodes of the Curiosity, that the cough syrup is useless for cough. So it's mostly placebo effect. It does nothing at all. It doesn't help you to curtail the cough. But then off-label use. That is why I really like this paper, which got published in JAMA Neurology. So cough syrup, especially the one which is called ambroxol. The ingredient is called ambroxol. This cough syrup can significantly reduce the symptoms of Parkinson's dementia. Parkinson's disease, so that's very interesting, and it can stop the advancement of this dementia, so that's very interesting. And also most of the neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, cough syrup include that has ambroxol as an active agent can help it out. That's very interesting. There is off-label use of this cough syrup, JAMA Neurology paper. Please check out the show notes. Then another story is about cats. Cats. I'm a cat lover. Felix, my name. I decided this name all because of cats. I'm a big cat lover. So if you love cats and dogs, and if you own it too, cats and dog ownerships are associated with slower cognitive decline. If you compare that with bird and fish ownership, well, bird and fish ownership showed no such association. Only cats and dog, ownership showed. That's very interesting, isn't it? So these findings, what does it suggest? Dog and cat ownership might act as a protective factor, aiding to slow down the cognitive decline, thus contributing to healthy cognitive aging. The paper got published in Nature, very famous journal. Right, the final paper of this month is coming from a brand new organelle has been discovered in human cells. A very brand new organelle, right? Something like lysosome, but it's not really a lysosome. And this new organelle is called hemifusome. And this one is detected by latest microscopic technique, the so-called cryo-electron tomography. Really at the forefront of the technology, isn't it? So this is very interesting structure, and it is the authors of this study, the paper got published in Nature Communications, and the authors said that this is like discovering a new recycling center inside the cell. So it is a recycling center. It's not like lysosome, but it's quite different, but probably it might play a crucial role in preventing cancer. That's very interesting, and this is a cover image of this month's Curiosity magazine. The show notes is presented as a magazine. The cover image is this hemifusome. Let me show you that hemifusome image here. This is the image of the hemifusome. You can see that the small and the large one. The small one is more smooth, while large one is rough. So this structure is something called hemifusome, and of course it can have various shapes, various style, you can say that, but well, this is universally present in all of human cell. Amazing, isn't it? Until date no one found it. So that is very interesting, and all these images were the product of cryo-electron tomography, the latest microscopic technique. Pretty exciting, isn't it? Well, now comes to our next stage of the Curiosity. The next part is about observances. In August, what kind of science and astronomy related observances can you look forward to? August 9 is Indigenous Peoples Day. And on the same day is the Sturgeon moon. The Sturgeon moon is a full moon of August. 12th is Youth Day. And on the same day, you will see Venus-Jupiter conjunction and Moon, Saturn and Neptune conjunction, the triple conjunction. In one photo, Moon, Saturn and Neptune all together, isn't it? Sky View or Sky Safari, these two apps I strongly recommend to the viewers of Curiosity. All these are free. I mean, it do have paid versions also, but just go with the free versions as of now. So that is sufficient. And all these astro related observances which I say are binocular. At max you need a low powered binocular. You don't really need a telescope. '15 is Indian Independence Day. Looking forward to it. And 19th is Humanitarian Day. 20th is Moon Jupiter conjunction and Moon Venus conjunction. So double conjunction at different times, of course. 22 is Victims of Religious Violence. It's a UN observance. So many people are being killed only because of religion, isn't it? Religion is the main reason why most of the war. Look what is happening in Israel and Palestine, isn't it? Only because of religion, isn't it? So most of this war is because of the religious struggle. So yeah, this day is against it. 22nd, very important day. 26 is another conjunction, Moon Mars conjunction. And final section of Curiosity is about opportunities for the young viewers and students, right? Okay, so UNEP is looking for a program management officer at the United Nations Environment Program. Okay, the deadline is 5th August. Many of these are coming from ISC, International Science Council, where I'm an advisory council member. I'm looking forward to our meeting that is going to happen in Canberra, end of August. So you can expect some shots in Canberra and Sydney. I'm gonna explore these two cities there. Not really explore, but I'm going to visit at least, right? Few days over there, and you can expect some interesting hikes, videos and photos from it in my channel. I'm looking forward to it. Next is call for proposals to strengthen science policy nexus across Asia. Deadline is 25th August. The call is by INGSA, INGSA. HFSP, accelerator grants. The deadline is 23rd September. So you still have enough time for the HFSP call. That is a very prestigious the call if you want to relate your research with anything to do with the human frontiers, isn't it? Yeah. Next is an award by Dr. Yella Pragada, right? Yella Pragada. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Dr. Yella Pragada Subbarao FABA Award, FABA. That is basically fellow of Asian Biotechnological Association, something like that. Yeah, FABA. It's the FABA award for the doctoral students, and also there also another award for young innovators. 2025, 10th August is the deadline. So by the way, this Dr. Yella Pragada, after reading about this award, I was curious to know who is this person. Very interesting story. Please check out his story. He has a Wikipedia too. He is considered to be one of the very important figures in American biochemistry, and he's an Indian origin. Probably I think he is a Telugu scientist. He was a scientist in the US, and he made several pioneering discoveries, including function of ATP. Can you believe it? Adenosine triphosphate as energy source. It was, Yella Pragada did it. Unfortunately, he never got any major awards like Nobel Prize. Of course, the function of ATP deserves a Nobel Prize, right? So yeah, he was kind of like forgotten heroes of science, isn't it? And also synthesis of folic acid, so he is the one who made it. So several accolades he made, several discoveries he made. Unfortunately, he was not really proportionately he was not he was not he was not reciprocated by the societies and learned academies. So yeah, that's very interesting story. And please check out the show notes for the links of all these awards. Another one is by a society called Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's research grant for translational biomedical research. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is a very famous society, isn't it? RK Ashram, isn't it? Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda's part of this ashram only, right? His guru, right? Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is guru of the Swami Vivekananda. So this, research grant for translational biomedical research, I'm pretty interested that RK ashram is doing, RK, society is doing, is funding actively on scientific research. That's very interesting. This is for the bench to bench to bed kind of translation research, right? The deadline is 21st August. The government of Uzbekistan and Slovenia's PhD scholarship calls are still open. You can check out the Ministry of Education Government of India site. I linked up in the show notes, and also do check out our Facebook group for further stories, further opportunities for the young scientist. And that's it for the month of August, the curiosity, the 70th episode. I'm winding it down right now. And I wish you all the very best throughout the month of August. Let August be yet another month of curiosity for every one of you. And till the next episode, which I'm going to shoot in most probably in Canberra. Looking forward to it. Till then, goodbye. Take care of yourself and someone else too.